Good Thursday morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Was able to niche away about an hour of time to be able to play this game and keep the replay kind of on schedule so we can finish up the week tomorrow with the last game and not be behind the eight ball, so to speak. We are at Milwaukee County Stadium. It is the Milwaukee Brewers and the Kansas City Royals going at it in this game on June the 2nd, next to last game to be played on June the 2nd, game number 346 on the replay. County Stadium, symmetrical ballpark. Singles are 1 to 6, both left and right. Home runs are 1 to 5, left and right. And we've got the starting pitchers today's game, the left-hander Bud Black against a right-hander Chuck Krim, who I believe will make in his first start of the season. He's primarily a relief pitcher, but he did get a few spot starts, and I believe this was one of them. Might be his first one. I'd have to double check that, but I don't know for sure. But that's where we're at on this Thanksgiving morning. I know football is kind of the big thing on Thanksgiving, but hey, why not baseball, you know? Who says it has to be football all the time for Thanksgiving? Why can't it be baseball? So, Bud Black, Chuck Krim. Milwaukee won this game in real world 14-3. Was not a close game, obviously, but they're going to try to make it a close game here with the Royals. They don't want to be dispatched that easily. You fill in a few other little knickknacks of data that I didn't do for the setup on this. Kansas City comes to the game 24-23. And Milwaukee is in first place 31-15. But since the Blue Jays lost and the Yankees won, they can get a game up on the Blue Jays ahead and stay on pace with the Yankees to stay in front of them if they, get the win in this one. We shall see. Bud Black and the Royals might have something to say about it. We'll go up to our numbers here for Chuck Krim. He's got a wild pitch of 3 and a balk of 3. And on the replay, he is 1-1. And we'll get our pass ball rating on the catcher Schroeder. It's the backup catcher. His pass ball rating is only a 2, so that's not bad. Then we'll do the same thing for Kansas City. Go over to Bud Black. Get his information. Black on the replay, 2-3. And let's check his wild pitch and balk rating. 9 wild pitch and no balk. All right, last thing is Jamie Quirk and his pass ball rating. Then we'll be ready to go. Jamie Quirk's pass ball rating is a 6. All right, so all the pertinent data is now in place. The only thing left is talk about pitcher-catcher hold. It's a -1 with Krim. He's a -2, and Schroeder's a +1 for a net -1. Bud Black is a +1. Jamie Quirk's a +1, so we have a net +2 on the pitcher-catcher hold quotient. Got our dice, of course. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Joel, and good morning to Jeff. All 3 of you. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Like I said, I've got about an hour and a half before I have to get ready to leave, so nothing else really going on, so had the time to come up and get this game in. And of course, before the game starts, we have to have the ceremonial first sip. Ceremonial first sip. And that is some good coffee. All right, let's get the full numbers on Chuck Krim. On real season, 6-8, 3.67 ERA, and 12 saves. On the replays, 1-1 with a 2.43 ERA and 5 saves. And let me see how many starts he actually had real world. He started 5 games. This will be his first start, so he's going to have 5 starts. So this may be a stretch where he's in the starting rotation. But like I said, normally a reliever, but he's going to get the start in this one. His fatigue is a 5, so it's not bad. It's not like they're going to have a bullpen day or something. As long as he's effective, he can go. And Willie Wilson will lead things off for the Royals. He's hitting 293 on the replay, 2 homers, 12 driven in. And we are underway. It's a 3-9, and that's going to be a solid single for Willie Wilson. He'll be looking to get the lead. Tell you, the weather definitely has changed. It was 70 degrees yesterday. Today's high is going to be about 45, so big drop off. But it is sunny outside, so that's a good thing. No rain, no overcast, maybe a little bit of wind, but not too bad. So it shouldn't be a terrible day. All right, to get the lead, Willie Wilson needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6. And he gets the 6, so he's going to get the lead. 19 being held to 17, and then the -1 to 16. So it's a 1 to 16, still an 80% chance. Schroeder's T rating is only a 2. 1 to 18, he's in there. And it's a 20, he got thrown out. Boy, Willie Wilson got a raw deal there on the D20. The devil die cost him. He has a 80% chance. Actually, I think it was a 90% chance. No, it was an 80% chance. 1 to 16. And you get caught, what are you going to do? D20, you can't control that. That's why it's a devil die. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Thanksgiving with your mom and whoever else, any other friends you might have to invite over. Looking forward to next year when your Inside Pitch Advance begins. Here is Kevin Seitzer. He's hitting 266, 8 homers, 29 driven in. He hit 323 real world. It's a 1-8, and that's going to be a single. Back-to-back base hits. Now, Seitzer has to be careful about trying to get a lead because you just saw what happened to Willie Wilson. And he's nowhere near where he should be. Hey, Ben, well, those are 3 people that aren't too bad, huh? All right, so Seitzer, he will not attempt to get the lead. He will be held, but they're not going to trust it after they got caught stealing the first time. So Seitzer will be held on, but Danny Tartable's your batter. He's hitting 305 on the replay, 11 homers, 35 driven in. He hit 309 real world. That's a 311, and that's a ballpark single. It's a 1 to 6. Devil dies a 2, so there you go. 3 straight base hits. And the Royals, despite the caught stealing, have 2-1 with only 1 out for Thad Bosley. Bosley hitting only 158 on the replay, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 279 real world. Hello, Tim. Good to see you. 4-4. It's a ground ball third base X. That's Molitor. 4E22 with a decent roll. Could get a double play here. Devil dies a 9. We're looking probably at either a fielder's choice or only play at first. Let's see. 4 and 9 is a G3. Only play is to first base. That is a 13, and he is an E22 at third base. There's a 12, 14, and 16, and 15, but no 13. So Molitor, a tough hop, but does make the play. His only play is to first base. Seitzer and Tartable will move up. Seitzer and Tartable will move up a base to get into scoring position, which makes this a clutch situation at bat for Juan Benitez, who's playing first. I'm sorry, for Frank White. Benitez is on deck. Benitez is starting at first base, and Balboni's getting the game off. Hello, Jeremy. Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Here is Frankie White, and White on the replays hitting 238, 5 homers, 16 driven in. He at 245 real world. In the clutch, let's see here. In the clutch, 312, he loses a hit. Everything else, he's neutral. 4-8 on Krim, and that's going to be a line out to first base. That is snagged by Greg Brock, and despite 3 singles, Krim gets out of it with no damage done thanks to the caught stealing. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Kansas City 0, Milwaukee coming to bat, and Bud Black on the mound for the Royals. And we'll get the numbers on Black. On the real season, he was 8-6 with a 3.60 earned run average and 1 save. On the replays, 2-3 with a 2.75 average, or ERA rather, and 1 save. So Black steps in against Molitor, Yount, and Cooper for the Brew Crew. So Molitor on the replay hitting 396, 6 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 363 real world. 211, he's going to ground it to third, and Seitzer will take care of that. 1 away. Good start for Mr. Black. Here's Robin Yount. He's hitting 321, 10 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 312 real world. 3-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. This one is handled by Salazar. So Bud Black inducing the ground balls early. Here's the designated hitter, Cecil Cooper. Cecil Cooper is hitting 221 on the replay, 6 homers, 17 driven in. He is hitting he hit 248 real world. Lefty on lefty, 3-9, and that's a base hit for Cecil Cooper. Continues his good hitting. Despite he faced left-handers 32% of the time, so it wasn't like he was afraid to hit left-handers. And obviously, Tom Trebelhorn didn't mind putting him in the number 3 spot either. Here's Rob Deere, left fielder rather, hitting 255 on the replay, 6 homers, 29 driven in. He hit 238 real world. First havoc roll for Bud Black. And it's a 1, so it's a wild pitch chance, and he's got a wild pitch of 9. And it's no wild pitch, so here's Deere. 1-5 for Deere against the left. He's going to strike him out. First strikeout for Black. And we're through the first with no score here from Milwaukee County Stadium. Grimm back out will face Beniquez, Jackson, and Salazar. Juan Beniquez played all over the place, right field, left field, first base, third base, and center field. Today he's playing first base, where he's a 4.10. On the replay, he's hitting 250. 4 homers, 22 driven in. He at 251 real world, so he's pretty much right where he's supposed to be. 4.8, another line out to first. It's exactly how the previous inning ended, was on a 4.8. That's 1 away, and here comes Bo Nose. Bo Jackson hitting 238 on the replay, 6 homers, 16 driven in. He at 235 real world. It's a 2-5, and that's another strikeout. So Chuck Grimm gets his first strikeout of the game. Each pitcher now with 1 strikeout. Here's Angel Salazar, number 8 hitter, shortstop, hitting 243 on the replay, 2 homers, 11 driven in. He at 205 real world. 1-9, he's going to pop it up to short. Swain has it, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Chuck Grimm. And that will take us to the bottom of the second. No score. Tomorrow, the last game to be played on June the 2nd, is going to be from deep in the heart of Texas. It'll be the Chicago White Sox taking on the Texas Rangers. Bill Long for the White Sox and knuckleballer Charlie Huff for the Rangers. Then on Saturday, we're looking at the National League game, which is going to be the Pirates and the Braves from Atlanta. Rick Russell against Rick Mailer. Here's Glenn Braggs hitting 280 on the replay, 6 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 269 real world. 3-8 again. I've rolled 3-8 quite a bit, it seems. That's a walk. First walk issued by Bud Black. Leadoff man is on, and with a +2 hold rating, Braggs is going to try to attempt for the lead. Needs a 5 or 6, doesn't get it, so no worries there. Here's Greg Brock. Brock hitting 335 on the replay, 6 homers, 29 driven in. He at 289 real world. It's a 6-2 lefty, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-6, but that's a 7. I would normally go with the default here, but that's going to put Braggs at second base, so we can't do that, so it's going to have to stay with a line out. But I'll give it to first base instead of to second base, so we keep it with the same guy getting the put out. Here's Bill Schroeder, catcher. Schroeder limited duty, just 76 at bats. on the replay, but he is hitting 263, 2 homers, 11 driven in. He hit 332 real world. Five, 6, and that's a line out to third base. So he lines it right to Seitzer for out number 2. And in case anybody missed it yesterday, I got my very first ever cycle. Very excited about that. Came from the guy I wouldn't have thought of off the top of my head, but hey, that's what the dice do. They do strange things. Here's Jim Gantner. He's hitting 289 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in, and 272 real world. 3-8. Again, another 3-8. It seems to come up quite a bit. This one's a fly to center that's going to end the inning. So at the end of 2 complete, we got no score from Milwaukee. Top of the third we go. Chuck Krim will be facing Jamie Quirk, number 9 hitter for the Royals. Quirk hitting 277 on the replay. No homers, 11 driven in. He hit 236 real world. 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Gantner. He's a 2E14. 2-11, he'll get to that. E14, and that is a 12. E14, there is no 12. So good play. Gantner takes care of Quirk, 1 away. And that brings up Willie Wilson. He singled and got caught stealing his first time up. 5-12, switch hitter batting left. That's a split chance. 1-8 is a single. That's an 18, so he's going to line it to second. That is the third line out. We're just in the third inning as the line outs pile up. Here's Kevin Seitzer. 3-2, and that's a foul out to Schroeder to end the inning. So Chuck Krim, in his season debut as a starter, is doing very well for himself. 3 shutout frames. We go to the bottom of the third. Still no score, and number 9 hitter Dale Swain coming up for the Brewers. Swain hitting 318 on the replay, 10 homers, 29 driven in. He hit 252 real world. That's a 5-9. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Fly ball to center field. Willie Wilson tracks it down, 1 away. And the order flips back over to Paul Molitor as we get another sip of coffee before it gets cold. I'm almost a little bit bittersweet with Thanksgiving and the family because there are a couple of in-laws that I get on my nerves and get on the whole family's nerves. So sometimes the best part about Thanksgiving is the drive home. But we'll try to make the best of it. So, hello, Frank. Here is Molitor. 4-11, and that's going to be a ground ball first base X. So we're looking at Beniquez, a 4E10 for Beniquez. 4E10, 4 and a 6. 4 and a 6 is going to be a base hit, and that is a 15. This could be insult to injury here. He's an E10, and there's a 15 right there, so it's going to be a single plus an error on Beniquez. So a single plus the E3, but do it this way, single, and then E3. So I make sure I get credit for the single plus the E3. So Beniquez getting his first start at first base and already booting one. Here is Yount. Get a 4-6, and that's going to be a walk to Yount. Second walk issued by Black. It does set up a double play if you want to look for a silver lining for Cecil Cooper. 2-5, and that is a ground ball third base B. It's going to be a fielder's choice, so we'll go 5-4. Molitor will take third, and Cooper reaches on the fielder's choice. Here's Rob Deere. Clutch situation for Deere against the lefty, and I see complete neutrality here, so nothing going on there at all. Completely neutral for Rob Deere. 3-6, and he will strike out again. Struck out his first time, strikes out again. But Black's 2 strikeouts come at the expense of Rob Deere, and we go to the 4th inning with still no score. So Black pitches around the single in the air. And we go to the top of the 4th. It'll be Danny Tartable, Thad Bosley, and Frank White due up. 2-7, and that is going to be a 1-5 double, 6-20 single. That's a single for Danny Tartable. Single for Tartable. That brings up Bosley. Grounded out his first time up. 4-5, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Yeah, Tim, I wonder what the launch angle on some of Deere's home runs were back in the day. So that fly ball, 4-5, went to right field. Yep, okay, make sure I give it to right field. Here's Frank White. 2-8 for White, and that's going to be a 1-8 double, 9-20 is a single. It's a single, 2 stars. And finally, Kansas City might have something going here. Runners at the corners with only 1 out. And that's going to send up Juan Beniquez. Brewers are playing for the double play. They're going to try to turn 2 and get out of this. Krim is decent at getting the ground ball out. 5-5, but this is a fly ball to right field C, so it's not deep enough to score any run. So the runner, Tartable, will have to hold as Braggs takes in short right field. So now it's a clutch situation for Bo Jackson. And in the clutch against the right-handers, he loses a hit on 3-10 and on 2-3. So he's got 2 places he loses hits. Well, that's an interesting roll right there. The white die is propped up by the D20. So what do you think? Should I make it a 5-2 or should I re-roll the whole thing? Because it's not flat. My rule is usually if it's not flat, I re-roll the whole thing. So I don't care what 5-2 was. I don't even know what 5-2 was. It would have been a ground ball B, but if all 4 aren't flat, I re-roll it. 6-3, and that's a split chance. 1-10 is a single. That's a 6, so that's a base. I'm sorry, 6. I was looking at 6-2. 6-3 is a ground ball shortstop X. I recant that. 6-3 is a ground ball shortstop X. So that is Swain, 3E25. 3E25. 3 and a 9 should get to that. 3 and a 9, he does. That is a total of 12, and he is an E25 and a 12. There's a 13 there, but no 12. So Swain makes the play and ends the inning. His only play was to first base, but he made it. And that keeps the Royals off the scoreboard. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still no score. And another thing about Thanksgiving that unfortunately comes up is, and I'm speaking about college football right now, but living in Virginia, of course, there are 2 main primary football teams in Virginia in college that have a really big rivalry. And one of my brother-in-laws is like over the top Virginia Cavalier fan. I'm a moderate Virginia Tech fan. But and every year, usually they're quiet because it's usually a one-sided affair. But I'm not looking forward to it this year because that's all they're going to talk about is how Virginia's so great and they're going to stomp Tech and all this other stuff. So, that's another reason why. Because I would actually not mind liking Virginia more, but he makes them unlikable, if that makes any sense. So I would really like to support both local teams, but it's kind of hard to do it when somebody's over the top and it's just kind of annoys you. All right, here's Glenn Braggs. Back to baseball. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3. Here's Greg Brock. I just hope they enjoy it this year because they're one and done. I mean, everybody on that team is a graduate senior or a senior, so their roster is going to be gutted this year. You live by the portal, you die by the portal. If they live by the portal this year, they will die by the portal next year. So, and with James Franklin at Tech next year, they're probably going to be in contention for the title, for the ACC title, because the ACC is so weak. 5-2, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4. So they better enjoy their 1 year this year. They get a chance to win. So I guess I'll let him have his glory. It means a whole lot to him, apparently, that it does to me. But the only thing he does in life is follow Virginia sports. So. Where, to me, college sports has gotten so professional, I almost don't even follow it anymore. 2-3 is going to be a 1-15 single. That's what it'll be. Schroeder gets a single. I mean, they're all professional athletes now, so it's the student athlete thing is just gone by the wayside. So here's Jim Gantner. Lefty, 6-5, and that's a fly to left and the inning. So 4 innings and nothing's going on. Well, it's a rough looking 0 there. But no score, so we hit to the 5th, and this will be the fatigue inning for Krim and Black. They both have a 5 for their fatigue. Here is Angel Salazar. Salazar popped to short his first trip. 111, and that's a ground ball to short. Swain will take care of it. 1 away. And that'll bring up Jamie Quirk. 4-6, and that's going to be a fly to center field. Robin Yount hauls it in, 2 down. And it's a shame because I really used to be into college sports, but that was back in the day. Here's Willie Wilson, 6-5, and that's going to be a 1-4 double. 5-20 is a single. That is a 5. It's a base hit. Base hit. Now, Willie Wilson got caught stealing his first time, but he's going to try it again. He's stubborn. 3 through 6 to get the lead. He does not get the lead this time, so he doesn't have to worry about it. Here is Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer is 1 for 2. 5-6, and that's a fly to center. So Krim will keep some endurance into the 6th as he's keeping a shutout. Bud Black coming up, and this is his fatigue inning as well. He'll be facing Swain and then the top of the order, Molitor and Yount. So pitching duel has broke out here at County Stadium. Not exactly the aces of the team either, but just the way it's working out. 111 is going to be a walk. So sometimes leadoff walks can come back to bite you. That is the walk number 3 from Bud Black. Swain, no threat to run, but still, when you get those walks, that can happen. All right, we're going to have a bunt, folks. So we got a scoreless game, so it's time to bunt. He's an A bunter. Corners are in expecting it. But he doesn't care. He's going to bunt anyway. Because they need to get it. That's a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch before the bunt even comes up. 1-9, we got a wild pitch. That's an 18, no wild pitch, so the bunt stays on. The white die is a 5, so that says it's to the first baseman, Beniquez. He'll field the bunt. And we're looking in this column B, so he needs a 9 or less pretty much to have a good bunt. That's a 3, so that's a good bunt. Good sacrifice bunt. And it's going to go sacrifice hits. We're just going to call it 3 unassisted on the bunt. Swain going to second base. So Molitor does his job, puts a runner in scoring position with only 1 out for Robin Yount. Good morning, Kathy. Robin Yount grounded out and walked against Bud Black. It's a 2-8, and that's a ground ball to short, so the runner, Swain, will have to hold at second base. 2 down, and now it's a clutch situation for Cecil Cooper. Cooper is 1 for 2 in the clutch against lefties. He gains a hit on 212, and he also gains a couple of hits on 3-3 and 3-5, and on 1-6. And on 1-9. He's got 5 clutch hits. So definitely a clutch hitter against lefties. That's a 5-9 off of Black, and it's just a fly to center. And that will end the inning. And Bud Black keeps endurance into the 6th inning himself. So not exactly top-notch starting pitching by name, but by results, we have a shutout through 5 innings. And Kathy has a trivia question here for the top of the 6th. So while Chuck Krim does his warm-up tosses, if you would give your attention to the chat box, Kathy will try to stump us with the trivia. And here is the trivia question. 3 players share a record of consecutive games in which they had hit a home run. Record is 8 games done in 56, 87, 93. Guess all 3. You can have an extra slice of pie today. How about that? Well, I know one is, I know 2 of them. I think Dale Long and Don Mattingly are 56 and 87. 93 is the one I'm not sure of. Was it Griffey? I didn't know about Griffey. I knew about Mattingly and Long, because when Mattingly hit his 8th, he tied Bill Long. Or I think it was Dale Long, actually. Not Bill Long. Bill Long was a pitcher. We've got lots of guesses here. Long and Mattingly are correct. I just don't know about the third one. The third one I'm unsure of. It was in 93, she said, so I don't know. You know, it could have been anybody that star, any of those stars in the 90s. We'll wait to see what. All right, so Yankee, Long, Mattingly, and Griffey. There you go. Very good. Yankee Bob and Tribe fan Tim. Very, very good. So I knew about the 2. I did not realize about Griffey. All right, so top of the 6th we go. Danny Tartable. Thank you for that trivia question, Kathy. Top of the 6th, and for everybody that got it right, we'll have another sip. Not the ceremonial first sip, because we've already had that before the first pitch. But here's Tartable. He's 2 for 2, 2-5, and he's going to be 3 for 3. One day it's a home run, and that's gone. How about that? Danny Tartable, a 2-5 is a 1-8 home run, and that's a 5. So Danny Tartable starts the top of the 6th with a home run, solo shot to break the ice. Tartable with his 12th home run of the replay. RBI number 36. He had 34 homers in the real season. So there is number 12. So he's on about his right pace. He's about 1/3 of the way through his at-bats. He's got about 1/3 of the home run. So he's pretty much on pace for his home runs. And that'll bring up Thad Bosley. That's right, Jeff. Not clean, but gone. Counts the same. 1-9 is going to be a single for Bosley. So now Krim, they might be getting the bullpen going in Milwaukee in their bullpen because, hello, Gandalf. Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Krim is on the verge of fatigue. So we'll go to the bullpen for Milwaukee and see who's got the most rest available and who makes the most sense to come into this game. Got two lefties in Plesac and John Henry Johnson, 2 righties in Basio and Clear. So it looks like Mark Clear is loosening in their bullpen just in case. But they're going to keep with Krim for now against against Frank White, rather. Oh, and that White dive got hung up, so let's redo that again. 3-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop A. Just what he needed, a Giovanni's Taylor shop, tailor-made double play. 3-5, ground ball shortstop A, 6-4-3, double play. That might let Krim get through the inning. Now there's 2 outs and the base is cleared. Just what he needed. All right, here is Juan Benitez. 210, and that's going to be a split chance. 1 to 3 is a single. That's a 19, so another line out. This one's going to short. So the lineouts have cut down. It's only the fourth line out there. We had 3 in 3 innings, but we're only at 4 right now, so it's not too bad. It's kind of settled in. I think that's going to be it for Chuck Krim, though. They're going to be going to Mark Clear in the 7th inning. Krim, though, did very well for himself. 6 innings pitched for Krim. He scatters 8 hits, but only gave up the 1 run, which was the homer. And let's see, I don't believe he walked anybody. He had immaculate control, no walking anybody, only struck out 1. So the ball was put in play constantly. But right now he's on the short end of a 1-0 ball game. Bud Black is out. He definitely has some endurance remaining. And he'll be facing Rob Deere, Glenn Braggs, and Greg Brock. That's a 1-5, and that's another strikeout for Deere. He's got the hat trick, all 3 strikeouts. Strikeout number 5 for Bud Black. He has Deere to thank for 3 of those. Here is Glenn Braggs. 1-2, and that is a ballpark single check. 1 to 6. That's a 5. Base hit for Glenn Braggs. So Braggs is aboard. He could think about getting a lead. It would be a 1 to 16 if he got the lead, so they're going to try it. He needs a 5 or a 6. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here's Greg Brock. 6'4", lefty is a fly ball center field X. We know Willie Wilson is a 1, but since his run on base, I'll roll it just to make sure we don't get a F1 out of it. And of the 9, we're not going to have that problem. 1 and a 9 is an F2, so the runner cannot advance. That is a 6, and he is an E1. The only way he makes an error is on a 17, so good play for Willie Wilson. Unlike that 3-error game the other day by Gary Pettis, that was something. All right, here's Bill Schroeder. That's a 6-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. They were holding Braggs on, so Frank White will drop to a 3E11 because he's part of the responsibility for holding the runner with the righty on the at bat. So Frank White is now a 3E11, not a 2E11. See if that matters. Not with a 15, it doesn't. So 3 and a 15 and a 2 and a 15 probably the same, and they are. They're both G1s. That's a 9, and let's see, he is an E11. E11 at second base. There's no 9 there, so Frank White makes the play, and the inning is over. So Bud Black will continue into the 7th, as he's still got a little bit of endurance left. We go to the top of the 7th. Score still 1-0, and now we're going to bring in Mark Clear out of the bullpen for the Brewers. Mark Crystal Clear, and he has just been killing it on the replay. He has been the best pitcher, probably best relief pitcher in the league, no question about it. I don't think there's a probably to it. His real world numbers aren't that great, 8-5 with a 4.48 ERA and 6 saves, but on the replay, he's 2-1 with a 1.09 earned run average and 2 saves. 25 innings pitched, only 13 hits. He has walked 12, but he has struck out 29. So he's been quite good, to say the least. He's a +1 hold, which makes him a +2. And Bo Nose will lead things off. Bottom of the order for the Royals. Bo Nose. 5-6, and Bo knows a strikeout is what he knows. Mark Clear picking up where he left off last game with some, or the whole season really, with just some phenomenal pitching. Here's Salazar. 5-9. Oh, this is going to get him trouble. 1-5 is a double. 6-20 is a single. So it's a 1-out single for Angel Salazar. And with the +2, he might be thinking about getting a lead here. Needs a 2 or a 6, 7, or 8 to get the lead. A 10 or 11, he's picked off. Oh, rolled the wrong dice. Didn't roll the D20. Helped to roll the D20 with it. That's an 11. He gets picked off or caught stealing, whatever you want to call it. I call it a pick off. My house rule. And Salazar gets picked off, trying to get the lead. And that'll send up Jamie Quirk now with 2 outs and the bases empty. 311 for Quirk is a ballpark single check, 1 to 6. That's a 19. It's a line out to short, or line out to second rather. So that's going to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time, but we're just going to keep rolling here. And Bud Black's going to stay out there. We do have a Thanksgiving trivia question from Kathy at the top of the next inning. It'll be Gantner, Swain, and Mulder due up against Bud Black. 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. Benitez will make the play. 1 down. And that'll send up Swain. 3-12, it's a ballpark blast. 1 to 5, but the double dies a 9. Just a deep fly to left. Swain didn't get all of it. And that'll bring up Mahler. 1-8 for Mahler. That's a solid single. He might be looking to get a lead. He needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. He'll hold. And here comes Robin Yount. 4-12 against the righty. Ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Salazar at 2E16. 2-11 is good. He'll get to that. That's a 9, and he's an E16. There is no 9 there, so Salazar makes the play to end the inning. So we played 7 innings here in Milwaukee, and just 1-0 lead for Kansas City, courtesy of the Danny Tartable home run. We go to the top of the 8th, and Kathy has a trivia question for us. So if you, for Thanksgiving-related trivia questions, so if you want to look at the chat box and see if we can get this one. A Thanksgiving trivia. What is supposed to bring you good luck at Thanksgiving? Does it something to do with the wishbone, pulling the wishbone and getting the bigger side of the wishbone or something? I like that one, Ben, at 20. Better than a 1, that's for sure. But I thought it had something to do with, like, you pull the wishbone, and if you get the bigger side, that gives you good luck or something like that. I'm guessing. All right, good deal. Although, honestly, our family, to a person, most people in our family don't like the darker meat of a whole turkey, so we just have turkey breast. So there is no wishbone in that, I don't think. Or if there is, I never see it because it's in the kitchen, probably goes in the trash. So we don't have it out on the table. They always slice the turkey up and bring it to the table, so we never see the skin and bones, so to speak. So anyway, here's Willie Wilson. Thank you for that, Kathy. 5-10, switch hitter batting left. That's an in-home run chance, 1 to 13. That's a 1, but Wilson has weak power, so it's only going to be a single for Willie Wilson. It will not be the home run. But a leadoff single is a leadoff single. And now with Mark Clear being a +2 hold, Wilson's definitely going to be looking to get the lead. Needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to get that lead. Does not obtain it, so he will hold. And here's Seitzer. He's not a good bunter. I'd bunt, but he's not a good bunter, so we're going to have him swing away. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll that again. We get a 6-11 on Clear. Ground ball first base X. They were holding the runner on, so Benitez drops to a 5. I'm sorry, Brock drops to a 4 E10 because they were holding the runner on. So he's he's going to lose some of his range. He's at a 4 E10 now. But a 16 is going to help him out immensely. 4 and a 16 is going to be a G2. Won't be a double play, but he could at least get the force play. That's a 9. And Brock is an E10. There is no 9 there. So not going to be a double play because they're holding the runner on, but they will get the lead runner on the 3-6 fielder's choice. And Seitzer, the new runner at first base. Not nearly the stolen base threat that Wilson is, but he's still going to try to get the lead because of that +2 hold rating. 5 or a 6 does not get the lead. He's got a hold. Here's Tartable. 2-7 for Tartable, and that is a 1-5 double. 6-20 is a single. That's a 9. Single 2 stars. It's going to put runners on the corners. Runners are on the corners with 1 out, and now the Royals a threat to extend the lead. Clear's got to bear down a little bit. Here's Bosley. Infield is in. They don't want to assume that they can turn a double play. They're going to play in. That's a 6-11. Ground ball pitcher X. That's Clear. Clear is a 2E19. 2E19 for Clear. 2 and a 20. That's about the best you can get for a pitcher. That 20. 2 and a 20 is going to be a G1. That's an 8, and he's an E19. There's no 8. There's a 9 there, but no 8. So we'll go over here to a G1. G1, where are you? There you are. The situation was runners on the corners, first and third, with the infield in. They would have got the double play to end the inning, but in this case, they just get the batter. Batter is out. Other runners advance only if forced. So runner on third's got a hold. Tartable will take second. It's a 1-3 ground out. Now there are 2 away. But you never knew if they were going to be able to get that double play. So kind of had to play it where you think you're not going to get the double play. So here's Frank White in a clutch situation against Clear, and White loses a hit on 3-12. Everywhere else he is neutral. So it's imperative for Clear to get the out here and keep this a 1-run game. It's a 3-6 for Frank White, and he does. Ground ball to third. Milder takes care of it, and Clear pitches around the mess. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Black's still out there. He's hanging in there with his endurance. Steve Farr, their closer, as of late, has not been doing well, so they may have to go back to Quisenberry if he's not overtaxed. Have to check and make sure he's not being overused. He was being overused, but we've got to make sure he's still, maybe after a few days off, is back to normal. See what Quisenberry shows on the computer. Quisenberry does not show tired. Still a little bit overused, but not tired. Steve Farr is rested, but boy, he's just been struggling lately. So we're going to start with Bud Black against Cecil Cooper here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 ball game. That's a 4-10, and that's an in-home run chance straight up. He's got weak power, though, does Cooper against lefties, so it will not be a home run. It will be a single. So not quite clean as a baby's ass because it wasn't out of here. It was a weak home run, or, home run that was weak. So we will get a pinch runner, though, because Cooper is not very fast. So they will go for more speed on the base pass, and they will bring in Mike Felder, the fastest guy they have. Mike Felder, he will pinch run. He's got a chance to maybe steal a base as well. And he'll stay in the game as a DH. So Felder is the pinch runner here in the 8th inning for Cecil Cooper. And we'll see if he can get a good lead. He needs a 6, 7, or 8 to obtain the good lead. It's a 5. He does not get the good lead, so he will hold. Rob Deere has struck out all 3 times. You wonder if they might go to another alternative. First of all, let's bring in on the computer Mike Felder to run for Cooper, which he is doing. And let's check the bench again from possible pinch hitters. They're going to bring in Juan Castillo to pinch hit because he's an A bunter. And with that strategy, of course, Kansas City's fully expecting the bunt, so it'll become a B bunter. So Castillo will pinch hit here in the 8th. And in the 9th inning, they will to play left field. They'll bring in Rick Manning. So Manning will come in to play left field in the 9th. But right now, we got the pinch hitter Castillo. And his one job is to bunt because he's an A bunter. So let's bring him in on the computer for Rob Deere. All right, so first of all, we'll check for havoc. And it's a 1, so it's a wild pitch chance for Black of a 9. And he does commit the wild pitch. So now, with the wild pitch in place, they may turn around and have Castillo swing away because the runner's already at second base. So we will not have a bunt. And with that, the corners go back to normal for Kansas City. Everybody's back to normal. So Castillo will swing away. On the replay, Castillo is hitting .218, no homers, 9 driven in. He hit .224 real world. Black, that's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Quirk, which is a 6. No pass ball. So here's Castillo. 1-6 against the lefty, and that's a 1-15 single. That's an 18, though, so he lines it to short. Got a bad break there on the D20 on that liner to short. So Castillo is out, and here comes Glenn Braggs. And now what do you do if you're Kansas City? Do you bring in the right-hander to face Braggs? You do have a lefty Brock coming up, so I think you're going to stick with Black right now against Glenn Braggs. 2-9, and that paid off. Ground ball third base A. It's going to freeze the runner. And now you have the lefty-lefty matchup that you want against the lefty Greg Brock. So it's up to Greg Brock in the clutch. And in the clutch against lefties, he gains a hit on 312. Everywhere else he is neutral. Greg Brock. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Black. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue. So the strikeout is good, at least according to Strat Computer, he has not. And so we're going to cap it there. So Bud Black is going to go 8 innings. I actually defied my rule a little bit because his fatigue was only a 5, and I let him go 3 innings past. But that's a product of the poor Kansas City bullpen. But we just let it happen, and there it goes, and he gets the strikeout. And now we need to make some changes here. Rick Manning will go in and play left field and bat cleanup in the spot formerly held by Deere. So this is now Manning's spot in left field. New pitcher for the Brewers as Clear goes 2 innings. And see, he gives up 3 hits, no runs. Struck out 1, didn't walk anybody. Coming up for the Royals, we have Beniquez, Jack, all righties coming up. Oh, they can? Okay, Ben. I always thought it was 2, but I think you're right with the 3 because actually once I recorded the out for Bud Black on that to finish the inning, then the Strat Computer told me Bud Black was tired. So I think you are right. You're absolutely correct. Yep, you're absolutely correct on that. So coming on to pitch for the Brewers, and it's mainly because he needs work. He hadn't pitched that much. It's going to be Dan Plesac, their closer. You can't get a save when you're a home team in the 9th inning, you're losing, so you might as well bring him in to try to keep the score at 1-0. Plesac on the replay, 5-6, on the season, 5-6, 261 earned run average, and 23 saves on the replay. He is 2-2, 4.91 earned run average, and 10 saves. So he hasn't done quite as well on the replay. And if you're bringing a righty, the Royals have a bunch of lefties on the bench they could have brought in to pinch hit. So I think they're just going to go with Plesac and what he can do. Plesac is a -2 hold, which makes him a net zero with Schroeder's +2. So here's Beniquez against Plesac. Actually, no, it should be Bo Jackson. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. My computer says Bo Jackson, but I'm saying it's Beniquez. So something didn't get recorded correctly on the computer, and I've got to figure out what that is. So let me go to the play-by-play and see what I didn't type in. It had to be something that I skipped typing in of some sort. So let's see what happened here. Let's reconstruct this inning here. Let's see here. Wilson, top of the 7th. All right, I didn't do something here because I have Wilson lining out here, so I've really got this screwed up. I'm going to have to come back to this. I'm not going to do it now. I'll fix it before the game is over, before I do the final game. I'll have to go back and fix this because in the 7th we have Bo Jackson striking out. I have Salazar with the single. I had Quirk popping out instead of picking off. See, when I went for the pickoff on the computer, I must hit pop out by mistake. So that's what happened there. So we will not worry about the Strat computer right now. I'm just going to finish it out manually, and I'll go back and fix it later. Right now, Plesac to Beniquez. To 3-9, and that's a ground ball to short. One away for Bo Jackson. And I'll fix it, get everything right on the computer after the stream is over. 111, and that's a strikeout. So Plesac strikes out Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's got the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Same as Rob Deere. Here's Salazar. So 4-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. We are looking at Gantner. 2E14 for Gantner. And that is a 2 and a 6. That should be good all day long. I would think we would do have a rare play with a 5. So how about that? 2 and a 6 is a G2. So we're looking at a G2 rare play. G2 rare play, but nobody's on base. And they're just talking about lining off the pitcher's mound. And my personal rare play things only really come into play when people are on base. With the bases empty, there's not really a rare play involved because it says if runner on first, batter is in the fielder's choice. But with nobody on, it doesn't really matter. So it's just going to be, let's see, it's only going to be, now I'm trying to remember where the ball was hit. Boy, went through all that. Now I forgot where it was hit to. I think it was second base. It was second base. Yep. So second base was a 4-3 ground out. All right. So we go to the 9th, and the Royals will bring in Dan Quisenberry to try to finish the deal. As Bud Black won his 8 innings. I can still get Quisenberry's numbers off of the computer for its replay stats. Where are you? There you are. All right. On the real season, 4-1, 2.76 earned run average, and 8 saves. On the replays, 4-1 with a 2.22 ERA and 3 saves. So he'll be in there to try to secure a 1-0 ball game. And after the onslaught we had in the previous game between Minnesota and Boston, a 1-0 game is actually very refreshing. So it's going to be scheduled hitters Schroeder, Gantner, and Swain. Let's see who the Brewers have on the bench. They have Jim Paciorek. They have B.J. Surhoff, so you could hit with Surhoff in place of Schroeder, although Schroeder is actually a better hitter, although it hasn't shown up here. So I think they're going to go the pinch hitting route and go with B.J. Surhoff to pinch hit for Schroeder as we lead off this top of the 9th. So B.J. Surhoff will pinch hit. If it goes extra innings, he'll stay in the game to catch. B.J. Surhoff. So the numbers on Surhoff On the real season, he was a .299 hitter with 7 home runs. On the replay, he's a .330 hitter with 2 home runs. So let's see what he can do here. Surhoff against Quisenberry. 6-5. Fly ball to left. That's going to be hauled in by Bo Jackson. 1 away. That'll bring up Gantner. He is 0 for 3. But he's a good hitter. .272 hitter. So not going to pinch hit for him. 2-9 against the right-hander. He's hit by the pitch. So Gantner gets plunked. Quisenberry, let's see, Gantner can get the lead with a 7. Quisenberry is a 0 hold, which makes him a +1. So if Gantner can get that 7, he would be a 1-16. He'd have an 80% chance of stealing second base, so that's definitely worth the gamble. But he's got to get a 7. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Here's Dale Swain. He's a .252 hitter, but he's got plenty of pop at 25 home runs. So they're going to have Swain hit. .6'7", switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball, shortstop X. Salazar responsible for holding Gantner, so he goes up to a 3E16 because of the lefty hitter. So he is now a 3E16 as a result of holding the runner. 3E16 for Salazar. 3 and a 7. This can make a difference between a double play and no double play. 3 and a 7. Actually, it's going to make it a base hit because he has the pound sign here. That's going to turn that into a single, 2 stars, because he was holding the runner. He's responsible for holding the runner. So it's going to be a single, 2 stars for Dale Swain. And that's going to put runners at the corners with only 1 out. And Paul Molitor, the batter. And now what do you do with the Royals? Do you play the infield in, or do you go for the double play? They're going to play the infield in. They're playing the infield in. Quisenberry to Molitor. 4-6, and that's going to be there you go, Jeff. It's a clean double to right field. It's going to tie the game, and potentially Swain, who was not being held on, he runs at a 12, so we'll see if he can score on this double. If not, we're looking at extra innings. Let's see here. The double, like I said, 4 and a 6. The double, straight out double to right field. So right fielder is Tartable. He's a 0 arm. Swain's a 12, not being held as a 13. There is only 1 out. So it'll be a 1-13 to score him. Or you can have second and third with 1 out and Robin Yount coming up. Although they probably walk Yount and pitch to Cooper. Actually, it wouldn't be Cooper. It would be Felder. Boy, it's a tough call. It's a 1-13 to score him. What is that, 65% chance? I'm going to send him on a 1-13. I think it's worth the gamble. 1-13. If he's out, Molitor, who just doubled, will take third base. So 1-13, they're going to send him. And it's in there. The ball game's over. 2-run double for Paul Molitor in the bottom of the 9th. And the Brew Crew come back and walk it off and win it 2-1 against Dan Quisenberry. Quisenberry will take the loss. Plesac actually gets the win. So Plesac went 1 inning, gave up nothing with a strikeout. I can't get the totals off the computer because I have to go back and fix all that. Quisenberry is going to pitch a third of an inning. And he's going to give up 2 hits and 2 runs. Bud Black, a fine 8-inning shutout performance, but just couldn't get anything else done after that. So let's see how many hits did he give up? 6 hits, I believe. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 6 hits he gave up. He struck out 6, and he walked, I believe, looks like 3 walks. So if my totals are now correct for Milwaukee, the homestanding Brewers, there was an error on the Royals up here on that E3. I don't think there was any other errors anywhere else. So the Brew Crew gets 2 runs on 8 hits. The Kansas City Royals get 1 run on 11 hits. and the Brewers extend their lead to 32 or the record to 32-15 and keep a one-game lead on the Yankees. Kansas City chasing Oakland drops to 24-24. And boy, I thought it was the right move bringing in Quisenberry, but obviously the Brewers had other ideas. And there you go, Paul Molitor, player of the game with that double. A two-run double in the bottom of the ninth wins it. I would give the player of the game to Bud Black, but he's not his team lost, so got to give it to Molitor. Even though I don't know what he did. Well, he did single. He was 3 for 4, so with the 2 runs batted in. So I think Molitor is your player of the game. So thank you all for spending part of your Thanksgiving morning with me. We're now into the early afternoon, and I've got to get going here in a few minutes, but and start getting ready to go. But I do appreciate everybody who joined me for this, and I do appreciate all you guys all year long, actually. So Thanksgiving Day is a good day to kind of reaffirm that I appreciate all you guys' support on the channel every morning at 9 o'clock, and trying to be consistent. And hopefully tomorrow, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be in Texas for the White Sox against the Rangers. Chicago won the game real world 15-5. It'll be game number 347 on the total replay. I do need to fill in obviously the records and some of the peripheral stats, but most everything else is filled in on the score sheet. So again, thank you all for. I'm going to go now and fix this thing on the computer and get this right. I had to, like I said, I forgot when I put in I thought I was putting in a pickoff on the computer, and it showed up as a pop out. So it really threw everybody off by 1 at bat. So thank goodness for the undo button. I got to undo about 2 innings worth of stuff, but it shouldn't be too hard to do. Now that I know the source of it, I can go back to that spot and then just recreate it real fast. It won't take long to type everything else in manually. So hope you all have a great time. Whatever you have planned today, whether it's watching football, spending time with family or friends, eating lots of food, whatever, all the above, whatever it is you have planned, stay safe out there. Of course, tomorrow being Black Friday, a lot of the game companies are having big sales, so keep an eye on that. Even Strat-O-Matic had a sale, which was surprising, but I mean, a lot of the game companies, be it cards and dice or computer, usually have some sort of sale going on. I think Payoff Pitch has a pretty decent sale going on. I think Action PC Baseball has a sale going on. I'm sure Replay will. App, forget about it. They don't do sales. Strat will have a sale once in a while. But then other things out there that might produce a sale. You never can tell. So anyway, no, he don't rake leaves. He has a blower, and his yard is not nearly as leafy as mine. Oh, Kathy, I don't think I ever showed you this. So let me, because I was talking about this the other day, and I don't think I took pictures, but I don't think I ever shared it with anybody, of my jaunts on the roof. So let me go back to my roof pictures. First of all, we start with a Tabby picture. There's a picture of Tabby. There's a Tabby picture. Got to have a Tabby picture. Let's see here. Let me get to the roof pictures really quickly. There's one of the pictures of, you can see my feet where I'm standing on the roof. That one's got to turn this way to see it, but you can see where I'm up there. All the pine needles are up on that roof that I have to get off. I got to turn it this way now. So that tells you where the ladder, gives you the visual of how far it is. And you can see right here, I stopped raking leaves to get this portion clean. I got to do this portion next week. So I'll do half and half. So that's kind of what I got going on there. But you see the pine needles, they get stuck on these, the pine needles tend to get stuck in the shingles, and it really messes things up quite a bit. You can see some more of that. some more with the ladder, some more where I was up top with the ladder, and let's see if there's anything else out here worthwhile. Whoops, wrong way. And that's what the roof looks like finished on top, where it's all cleared off. And there's also a spot up here that's really tough to get to. Ladder has a hard time getting up this high. I actually had to come up here, get on this part of the roof, climb down to here to get this part off. So that's that can be a rough go of it. And then that's the garage where I cleaned off this, and it's already been blown over by leaves again, but at least I got the roof cleared off. So anyway, those are my escapades of cleaning the roof off with the leaves and the pine needles and all that stuff. But no injuries to report. Was able to climb the ladder. I was by myself, so I had nobody holding the ladder, so I had to make sure it was steady. But try to keep. I try to do things that OSHA would have been proud of as far as safety measures. So hopefully that's all done now. Yeah, Joel, they are an endless battle for sure. But now everything I got to do now is on the ground level. So I've probably filled up about 25 bags of leaves to this point in those big lawn bags, but I got more to go. And the backyard's even got more stuff in it, lots of big sticks, but I do have one of those big metal trash cans like you see sometimes where they have the people on the street homeless or whatever. And a lot of times I'll burn a lot of the limbs and the small sticks and things like that. I do a big burn session. So that helps take care of some of it. I don't burn the leaves because I burn the sticks. That's what's more important. The leaves I can take care of. The big sticks are hard to maneuver. I don't have a pickup truck, so they're kind of hard to do anything with them. But the leaves I can put in the bag, and at least I keep them straight. But the big sticks can be a problem sometimes. Anyway, just thought I'd share that just out of the blue. Again, I'm thankful for all of you for supporting what we're doing or what I'm doing right here. And a big thanks to Jeff because he's the one that encouraged me to do it by watching his replays when I was at work. So I tried to just pick up the baton and keep the ball rolling on the Strat-O-Matic and playing the every game. I can't do it for both leagues because it would just take too long, but I figured the American League would be a nice little thing to do. But I know home ownership, there's a lot of things that, a lot of chores and things that you don't have to do if you live in an apartment or whatever. But I'm thankful to have a home to have to take care of. So a lot of people don't. So definitely blessed in that fashion. And it's almost paid for. That's the best part. Not quite paid for, but getting close. Getting very close. So once that gets paid for, then that will definitely ease up the finances for sure, because that will definitely take a lot off the budget. So we're getting there. Not quite, but we're same with the car. The car's almost paid off too. So getting close. Getting there. So anyway, I'm still undecided about what to do for my other project versus the demolition league that I had going Strat-O-Matic. I'm still debating about whether to do something with another gaming engine, be it inside pitch, history maker, payoff pitch, something along those lines. Not quite sure. Maybe delve into a different sport, perhaps. Maybe do something with football or hockey, although hockey I know very little about. I do have the NASCAR game, or stock car game, I guess you call it, from Play. That's a pretty decent game. Haven't played it in ages, though. I have to go back and remember how to play it. I still got to pay taxes for sure when that comes around, but taxes and insurance, that's no different there. It's an endless battle. In fact, I've got to pay by next week. I got to end up paying personal property tax for our vehicles. So never understood that. You pay tax on the vehicle when you buy it, but you still have to pay it every year to own it. I haven't figured that one out yet, but That's your government for you right there. Anyway, won't get into politics at all. I don't want to delve into that, but you just think maybe once you pay taxes on something, you shouldn't have to pay taxes on it anymore. But that's the way it is. So anyway, time for me to get going. I'm sure you guys got things you want to get done. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce or whatever it is your favorite dessert is, whether it's pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie or pecan pie or apple pie or whatever the case may be. Trying not to get too much of a belly ache. Of course, I almost think the leftover turkey sandwich the next day is almost better than the hot turkey on the plate. Sometimes those leftover turkey sandwiches with a little mayonnaise and lettuce on it goes right down pretty good. So, well, yeah, we don't get too much into politics on the Thanksgiving dinner, but if my brother-in-law is in there, he will be talking sports. So, specifically one sport in particular. So, and he's kind of passive aggressive about it with me because he knows I'm a semi fan of the other team. So he'll try to, without saying it directly, he'll try to chime in there and do stuff. But anyway, all right, that's good to go from here. I go downstairs and I gotta get ready to get going so I can. I got about a 45-minute drive to my mother's house for Thanksgiving, so need to start thinking about getting there because it's already 20 after 12. So time to get rolling. But I wasn't going to play a game today, but I said, you know what, I got about an hour and a half. Let me give it a shot. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we did, and it was a great game. 1-0. I mean, a 2-1 ball game, walk off. What am I talking about? 2-1 ball game on a walk off, and I do need to fix this in the computer before I turn the computer off. So I need to get going and doing that now so that I can move on to bigger and better things. So hello, Grapes. I didn't see you sneak in there. Game's over, unfortunately, but you always can move it back, start from the beginning or whatever. But kind of gave it away here with the 2-1 walk-off double by Paul Mahler. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. All right.